Day One Journey, episode 1242. Deliberately vague. Well, I like the word deliberate. And the word vague, well, I remember me and my friend a few years ago, Idan, we used to play with quotes, and we love the word in Hebrew, meduyak, which is uh, exact, or in Italian, esatto. This is to the point. Not necessarily to the point, maybe meduyak. I think it's to be exact, to be sharp. Yeah, very accurate. This is the proper translation. So we really like to be accurate, and there was a time I was writing a list of words for me to how do I like to communicate. I like to be deliberate. I like to be sharp. I like to be to the point. I like to deliver the point, the idea, the message. It's very direct, very straightforward, very cutting. And this is a simplifier. Now, I just had a conversation with a good friend today, and I shared with them the idea of being vague, and I think it's very powerful. Sometimes I call it the ability of talking to someone without saying anything. I think this is an art. Imagine yourself in a conversation and you don't want to reveal something about yourself, and you don't really want to answer the question, but still you want to be polite, you want to play the game, you want to smooth it out, make it smooth. So this is the art of being vague, and I think it's important. I don't think every single time we need to say everything about everything. I think it depends. And so I had a conversation with my friend, and we were talking about explaining things to children, or not explaining things to the children. When do we do that, and how to do that, and what to say, and how to say, and so of course it depends. It depends how old they are. It depends on so many things. I'm not giving here right. I'm not trying to give anyone any advice. The thing that I do want to share is sometimes it is smart not to say, not to share everything, not to explain everything. And a few years ago, I wouldn't agree with this. I had this thought, idea, belief that everyone can understand everything if it's explained with all the details. Now, I do think that anybody can understand anything, but it will take time. Yeah, and sometimes we cannot obtain or process too much information. And sometimes, especially kids, they lack experience. They see examples in movies and on TV and with stories, but they didn't experience something. And this is why they won't necessarily understand. Now, what I told my friend was, the goal is not necessarily to explain yourself. The goal is not necessarily for the children to understand everything that you're going through. Sometimes it's nice to have, sometimes it's a good idea, but there's the overall goal. What is the most important thing for them? As human beings, they have their own challenges, their own priorities. And we as parents make this make a lot of decisions for them. And sometimes I think a decision can be not sharing everything. Okay, it's not the right time. And it's not going to be a perfect time, just it's too early. Sometimes it's so this is going back to this title, deliberately vague. So sometimes I choose to be deliberately vague. Yeah, it's my intention. I don't necessarily want people to understand. Why? Well, it changes per situation. Do I want to it changes per situation. And sometimes maybe I'm meeting someone and I want to be more mysterious, or I actually want to check. Yeah, I want to test. Yes, I want to test them. Or I want to test the situation. I want to see how much they are interested. So they ask one question, I don't answer. When that's for the second time, now I know. It's important to them. So I start giving them the answer. And then I change the subject deliberately. Then they go back to the question. This is how I find things about them. You can find a lot of things about a person from their questions and the thing they ask repeatedly. You understand what's important to them. Or maybe they just ask because they're polite. Maybe they just ask because they have nothing else to say. Deliberately, I think can be beneficial sometimes. Think about it. And of course, have an amazing day. Day one. See you tomorrow.